that Douglas had a secret think tank inside of Douglas that I don't think Bob Wood even knew was there, okay? And so Pete didn't have a card to get into it, but he buzzed into it to the receptionist inside. He told her who we wanted to bring in, and she comes and opens the door and takes me in, and Pete doesn't go in. He's not authorized to go into this secret think tank. Mm-hmm. So I spent 12 and a half years at Douglas. At least 50% of it was in the tank, and then later on I became engineering section chief of the Apollo program. Actually, my position was for all types of test equipment for our new contract, which was for the Apollo upper stage, which was the S4B stage of Apollo. Now, a lot wasn't understood and hasn't even been brought out yet, but Douglas, inside the secret think tank, we had been working on programs, not just to do the Apollo program. That was old stuff. We had been working on missions to go out in space and build naval base and research facilities on every planet in the solar system or the moon. Now this is way, way before NASA even existed. We were doing these secret studies ourselves, not by the Navy, but for the Navy. This is way before Space Navy even started. And we were tremendously interested in what was taking place out in the galaxy. I was able to utilize a great deal of the information that I spent in the Navy, where I was staffed to Admiral Ricobata. Now, do you want me to explain a little of that?
Go for it, absolutely.
All right. This is very strange. There was a group of people who were studying extraterrestrial. And this is kind of, I got to figure out the best way to get into this. A single Navy operative went into Germany. This is like 1939. He didn't believe this, but there was very strange organizations and different research groups all over, not just Germany, but in the occupied countries too. And strangely enough, Germany was putting in production fantastic vehicles that had literally, they didn't have wings on these aircraft. They didn't have empennage or tails. They had landing gears. Some of them were triangular shaped. Some were rectangular shaped. Some were round shaped, like a saucer. All these different vehicles were Draco Navy vehicles. The Draco reptilian civilization people had come to the planet. They had selected Germany as being their support organization on the planet. So what happened was, this spy was inside of German secret laboratories. He spoke brilliant German. He knew all the dialects. He was a German family living in the United States, an American. but he's in Germany. And unlike many spies, he knew much about Germany. He knew where the facilities were. And so he, being a spy for the Navy, found out all of these fantastic situations that were going on inside of Germany. And this is an important point. Instead of him going to his boss, coming back to the United States, he went directly to the Secretary of the Navy, Forrestal. So he explained to Forrestal all this fantastic thing that was happening all over Germany or in the war. And Forrestal seemed to believe this spy. So Forrestal then structured an organization of 24 of the top Navy spies. And they were going to go into all of the areas in Germany and find out what is really going on. Okay? Now, this is particularly interesting. Forrestal gets tapped on the shoulder. He gets told, don't select a Navy officer to head up these operatives. What? He's told to select somebody who had never been in Annapolis. Now, almost every Navy officer, whether they're a one-star or lieutenant commander, they've all been through Annapolis to learn how to be a Navy officer.
So why was he selected?
So, it turns out Forrestal is told that every book in the libraries, every book in the colleges, every book in the universities, every book on this planet is misinformation. It's misinformation. So, which is initiated by the Draco reptilians as far back as 6,000 years ago. All over this planet, books are not telling the truth. Whether it's medical, whether it's interplanetary, whether it's science, every person, every PhD on the planet has been given misinformation the 4 or 5 years that he's in the university. So, the Secretary of the Navy selects Rick Abada. He's not even an American. He comes over here with his family. He goes to school here. He goes to the second year in high school. He leaves school. He joins the Navy as a third-class seaman, works his way up in the Navy. Now he's a commander, okay? That commander is selected by the Secretary of the Navy to head up all of these operatives to go back into Germany and find out what's going on. Because that individual had never had misinformation given to him about every technical field on the planet. This may sound like insanity. This is what happened. So Rick Abada then transfers from a command facility back east to North Island Naval Air Station. All of a sudden, he's a captain. He doesn't go there. The first place he goes to is 4 aircraft companies. one research facility and one medical advanced research facility. Scripps. He goes to Caltech. He goes to Douglas. He goes to Lockheed. He goes to North America. He goes to Northrop. He tells every top technical personnel in those organizations they're going to receive a package from the Navy. This package is going to be a contract. This is not a competitive bid contract between different organizations. This is a specific contract to, say, Lockheed in Burbank. Okay. Now, we talked about Rick Abata. We have to talk a little bit about Bill Tompkins.